people continue to praise the officer who arrested the young street suspect without force. Another officer remains in jail, convicted of using too much. It was 5 years ago that Sammy Yatim was shot while he was on board a streetcar here at Dundas and Bellwoods. Now that officer is just days away from finding out if his guilty verdict will be successfully appealed. The encounter lasted less than 50 seconds. In that time, Officer James Forcillo fired a total of 9 shots at 18-year-old Sammy Yatim, who was holding a small knife on an empty streetcar. First, the officer fired 3 shots, and then 5.5 seconds later, 6 more. It is starkly different than the encounter Officer Ken Lamb had on Monday with Alec Manassian, the suspect in the Yonge Street van deaths. Lamb is being hailed a hero for showing restraint and not opening fire, while Forcillo remains in jail, serving a 6-year sentence after a complicated verdict that found him not guilty of murder, but guilty of attempted murder, finding there was no justification for the second volley of shots. Forcillo has appealed, and this Monday, the Ontario Court of Appeal will release its decision on that verdict. Sammy Yatim's shooting sparked mass criticism of Toronto police and prompted calls for change. 2 years ago, Toronto police added a day of mental health and de-escalation training for officers as part of a 3-day training course they take every year, showing off the techniques to the media.
Stand down and drop the knife.
Chief Saunders mentioned that training after this week's takedown.
More people will be dealing with de-escalation than pulling out their firearms in most police agencies in Toronto. And so it is a focal point of our training piece. Having said that, that particular situation, the way in which it went down was nothing short of remarkable.
Here's a startling number for you. Toronto police deal with 28,000 encounters with people who are in mental health crisis every year. The vast majority end without the use of force. And in his statement today, Chief Saunders said, quote, "The values we look for in future officers speak about doing the right thing, connecting with compassion." So it's not just about training, it's about hiring the right officer in the first place.